Hola clase, ¿cómo están ustedes? Pues en este video les voy a preparar para la semana 3 y voy a repasar unas cosas que necesitamos saber para manejar bien este curso. Hi everyone, in this video I'm going to go over some things, prepare you for week 3 and go over some things that you need to know to manage this course well. Hoy es domingo, el 6 de febrero. Y hemos estado en casa, ¿no? Durante estos días, tal vez. El campus de Rose State College por lo menos está cerrado, por eso estamos en casa, por causa de la nieve, que me encanta, ¿no? So we've been at home, right? These last few days. The campus is closed, so we've had to be at home. At least I have, because of the snow, which I actually love. Pero cuando estoy en casa, soy papá, soy esposo. Casi no hago nada más. But when I'm at home, I'm dad, I'm husband, and I really can't get to anything else, hardly. And so, lo siento mucho por no mandarles un video antes. Típicamente yo preparo los videos los jueves y los viernes y los mando o el viernes o el sábado, pero en esta semana no he podido por causa de la nieve. Typically, I like to prepare videos on Thursdays and Fridays, and I send them out usually on Friday or Saturday. But this week, of course, I haven't been able to because campus was closed because of the snow. Pero aquí estamos, y si están viendo este video el domingo, van a estar muy preparados. Si están viendo este video el lunes, no se preocupen, todavía hay tiempo. But here we are on Sunday. If you're watching this video then on Sunday, you'll be prepared. And if you're watching on Monday, there's still time. Así que no se preocupen. Vamos directamente, so don't worry. That's the last thing I said, sorry. So let's go directly to Canvas. Aquí estamos en Canvas, en su página de español. I want to reiterate a few things before I get into what's due and what's coming up. Anuncios recientes, announcements, recents. You notice that adjective is it's like backwards. Actually, I like to think of it as English is backwards, but announcements, recents, anuncios recientes. That's actually a rule. The adjective goes after the noun. You'll see that a lot coming up if you haven't already. So you see last week's announcement, and this is basically, if you click on it, you'll see a video that is similar to this one. And so you can click on that and you will see an update video. It's just good to see the face of the professor, especially when it's on an online course, no matter how scruffy he or she may look. So you do want to keep up with these. There are only 2 that show. So if you're missing some previous ones, you'll have to just click on it over here, and it'll show you the old ones. So hopefully we're managing well the course. We're at Unidad Uno. Y quiero recordarles, I want to remind everyone that you can find the textbook, of course, by clicking on Metas, Goals, y Apuntes, and just click on Libro de Texto. Okay, so ¿dónde estamos en el Libro de Texto? Well, we're rounding the corner toward finishing Unidad Uno. So I just want to reiterate where we should be. I'm going to go through a few pages here just to begin so I can go ahead and scroll through. So we have Unidad Uno, presentaciones formales. So we've been dealing with this formal, informal thing, right? These are presentaciones formales. ¿Qué significa eso? Básicamente, formal, it has nothing to do with the way you look, right? But it has to do with your relationship with the person you're talking to. So if you're talking to a person who does not know you, or you don't know them, they don't know you, then it's going to be more formal. Also, if you're younger, as in like a child, like 18 and younger, 17 and younger, and you're talking to an adult, it's going to be formal. You're speaking formally, sir, ma'am, and the person speaking to you, they may choose to use formal or informal. I know it seems like something out of the like 60s, 70s, or 60s, 50s, 40s. I think we lost all hope in the 70s, right? So it seems really strict, but if you take Espanol and you put it into English literally, it is still a much more cordial language. Not necessarily better, although I think it is, but it's a much more cordial language. So here, sorry, I've been kind of messing around with the screen. Here you have presentaciones informales. What are informales? Well, it doesn't mean casual. It doesn't mean that you're less polite or anything. It just means you're on a more familiar basis. So two friends, two 10-year-olds, two teenagers, two 85-year-olds, they don't need to talk formally to each other. Two adults, one adult is 24, the other adult is 115. You can be informal, or you could both be formal if you don't know each other. So look at these closely on your assignment. Some of us are missing some key things that are actually very clear in the conversaciones. For example, it says presentarte here, informal, to present you. And here it says presentarle, formal. So you got to notice those little bitty differences. And you do want to go through the vocab, which will be very helpful to you. So I didn't go through some of the vocabulary last time. I want to go through a little bit this time so you can hear it and be sure. I'll go through it really quickly because I think my daughter's waking up. Hola, ¿cómo te llamas? ¿Cuál es tu nombre? ¿Cómo estás tú? ¿De dónde eres tú? Y tú, quiero presentarte a cumpleaños, feliz, we usually put those together, feliz cumpleaños, fenomenal, ¿qué tal? ¿Cómo andas? ¿Cómo te va? ¿Qué pasa? Nada. If you talk to your parents or uncles or somebody in your family who's from the 70s, ¿qué pasa? It literally means what's happening. I think that was a phrase. If anybody, I just barely got in on the last few months of the 70s. So there was a show called What's Happening, I believe, in the 70s, and it's really more that. It's not so much what's up. So a little fun fact. You should already be looking at comparación cultural, and if you click on these, you'll find the link, and you want to participate in the discussion in Canvas. The next section, we have las despedidas. So these are goodbye. I want to give you a heads up on how they are pronounced. And then the rest, the alphabet works in Espanol. So once you can pronounce A, E, I, O, U, you're set. Because the consonants, they pretty much stay the same. They may change a little bit, but the vowels never change. And that's what native English speakers usually have trouble with. ¿Listos? Adiós. Buenas noches. Ciao. Or ciao. That's taken from Italian. C-I-A-O, ciao. Pronounce the same. Hasta luego. Hasta mañana. Hasta pronto. Nos vemos. Sorry about the clicking sound. Okay. Expresiones de cortesía. So courtesy expressions. Con permiso. So when you go to Walmart, if you hear somebody speaking Spanish, and you have to get by them in the hall or in the pasillo, I forgot the word in English. Yeah, anyway, the aisles, yes. So when you have to get past them, if they're in your way, or you may hear them saying something when they're passing by you, if you hear a Spanish speaker, go ahead and throw it out there. Con permiso. You will get a weird look. That's fine, because it will be kind of surprising to the person, probably, unless you already appear to be a Spanish speaker. But go for it. You might get a neat response also. You might get está bien, but you might get con permiso back, right? But it's very just polite. It's common to say that. Let's continue. Perdón, lo siento, por favor, muchas gracias, de nada. So quick note about these expresiones de cortesía, and just about Espanol in general. So what we say in English is not necessarily what we say in Espanol. So Espanol and other languages, they're not a copy of English. The language is embedded in the culture as well. As language comes out of the culture as well. So you may hear someone say perdón, pardon, but you don't want to use that. More common will be con permiso, right? Just because excuse me seems like to be the more common one in English, it doesn't mean it's more common in Espanol. The standard is not English, does that make sense? Even though it's the most commonly spoken language. The standard is Spanish. So the standard for Spanish is Spanish. And the standard for Russian is Russian. And so it all comes out of the culture. And then you have your differences in España and in Mexico, Argentina. Of course, it started in España, but you have your variants, just like you have in Oklahoma, New York City, Scotland, California, other places. So you do want to continue. You should be where we're talking about ser. Ser is one of the main verbs. It's the most common verb in Espanol. And so far, we're only looking at the first three conjugations, which cover first person, yo, second person, tú, or usted, and third person, él or ella. What about it? Well, there's an it, but we'll talk about that later. So let's go through these. Repitan, soy, eres, es, and that works for él y ella también. Now, what's this about tú y usted? Well, tú is informal. ¿Cómo estás tú? How are you? Mi amigo, mi amiga. How are you, my friend? ¿Cómo está usted, señor, señora, señorita? How are you, ma'am, miss, sir? Okay, so you want to be getting into that already, and you want to just explore this. I'm going to, of course, depend on you all to read this on your own. So that's where about you should be about there, and definitely you should be continuing with your prácticas. And do look at the apuntes. I'll go back, and you want to be clicking on Semana 3, where we'll talk about ser and you formal versus informal. And I have some, just click around everywhere in the notes. There might be some kind of special links, in there. So click around in there and we'll talk about the dichotomy between you formal, usted, and you informal, tú. There are plural forms of those also. We'll talk about those in Unidad 2 or Unidad 3, I forget which one. Prácticas, you have these due on el 13 de febrero, which is next Sunday. You want to do the prueba also. It's just a collection of ideas from the prácticas. It's nothing really huge or big. It doesn't weigh anymore. What I do want to say about las prácticas is that some of these are not graded even after you complete them. I have to go in and grade them. And these past few days, I haven't been able to do much, of course, because I've been at home. I have to do pretty much all of my work and studying in Rose State College or in Norman, if I can ever make it down there. So that's why I've been behind on grading, but I will catch up probably starting tomorrow. I won't be completely caught up, but I will begin to catch up and you'll see some more feedback. So no se preocupen por sus notas si están completando las prácticas. So don't worry about your grades if you are completing the exercises. If you haven't started yet and you are not completing the exercises, that will be some cause for concern. Bien. So I'm going to go be that again. And I hope that this video has been helpful for you. I hope you feel like you're ready to go into Semana 3. Remember, the focus is going to be the verb ser and the dichotomy between tú, informal, y usted, formal. Bien, gracias y nos vemos la próxima vez. Hasta luego.